Yo, what's going on, YouTube fam? Today's video is really based on you guys, right? So I was going through the comments and I saw this really good idea to actually show you guys how I implement and use the daily drawdown to be able to pass these challenges, right? So I really want to show you guys my specific strategy and how I view the daily drawdown and how you can too, right? And really take this into account. This strategy may not work for all prop firms, but I know that it does work for my Forex funds, right? So what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is show you guys how I turn what a lot of people do is view the daily drawdown as a defense mechanism, right? But you can actually turn it offensively to be able to complete your challenge a lot sooner, maybe in like 1 or 2 trades or even 1 or 2 days, right? So it's really just switching that viewpoint on how you view the daily drawdown from that defensive mechanism, almost like that safety net that we're too used to viewing it, and actually using it as a powerhouse to be able to complete your challenges pretty quickly, right? So what I want to go ahead and do is really just start breaking down what the daily drawdown actually is. Now, for prop firms, right, for them to be able to protect their capital, they put in place a system where they don't allow too much revenge trading or allow you to really leverage the entire account all at once, right? Or in one single day. You know, this is how they protect themselves, they protect their risk, and they're able to do so by allowing traders to get cut off at a certain point in the day, right? But how do I take that daily drawdown and view it and use it to my advantage, right? So let's say we have a standard 100K account. And with this standard 100K account, most prop firms, if not all, have a daily drawdown of 5%, which means that you can't lose more than 5% in one given day, right? If you start off at break even with 100K, you can only lose 5%, which is about $5,000 on this account for that day. You can't, once you go underneath that or you break that, you violate the rules and you'll most likely lose that account, right? So that's really, really standard across the industry, that 5%. Now, what I like to do and take into account is once you go a little bit in profit for that day, right? Once you actually close, let's say it's 1.5%. If you close 1.5% in profit for that day, well, your daily drawdown now jumps up from 5% to 6.5%, which means that in that given day, you can lose your profits and still lose that daily drawdown, which is the 5%. So instead of being able to risk 5% for that day, you actually jump up to 6.5% on that day, right? So what I like to do a lot of the times is if I go about 1.5% or 2% in that day, I'm going to leverage those profits, right? Because regardless, they're still going to give me my initial 5% from that given day, from that start of the day. Now, this only works if you're starting the day at zero, right? A lot of times, if you check your history on that trades, you want your history in MetaTrader, you want it to say zero, right? You don't want to see any trades open or close for that day, especially if you're going to use this strategy. So what I like to do is I start from scratch. I start from zero. And if I'm able to leverage some profits, 1.5 or 2% for that day, I will make sure I close it, right? Because we don't want it to be floating leverage. We want to be closed leverage. So we'll close those trades. And now for the rest of that day, I will have that daily drawdown plus the profits to be able to leverage, right? So that is one of the things that I like to do to be able to give me more breathing room or even complete challenges in 1 or 2 days, right? So for example, if I'm able to gain 3% in one day, I will close that and I would actually use that 3% plus the 5% daily drawdown of that day, which is about 8% total for that day that I'm able to lose. Not all prop firms will allow you to do this, right? Some of them actually have a trailing daily drawdown, which means that if you do make some profits, it's counted towards that daily drawdown. But from my experience, MyForexFund doesn't operate this way. So they actually give you, or you're able to lose those profits and then still have that daily drawdown, that initial daily drawdown that you started that day with, right? So take that into account when you're trading. You know, that can help you leverage a little more that one given day. And if you see another setup in that day, you're able to risk, essentially you're able to risk more and be able to complete the challenge in that given day. So that is one of the strategies that I use. It's really flipping the daily drawdown from a defensive standpoint, viewing it as a safety net, into viewing it as a catalyst, or being able to leverage those profits from that day. So your daily drawdown can actually be quite useful if you know how to utilize it and view it effectively. As always, if you like the content, feel free to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe and share with some families and friends so we can keep this channel growing. Take care.